Is the air blowing from your car's vents feeling more like a lukewarm sigh than a refreshing blast of cold? What if I told you there's a way to fix that, right in your own driveway, and it has nothing to do with spending a fortune at the dealership? You've probably been told that a weak air conditioner means a big, expensive problem like a failing compressor or a major leak. But more often than not, the real reason your car feels like an oven is due to a few simple things that most people, and even some mechanics, completely overlook. We're going to skip the jargon and get straight to the fixes that actually work, turning that disappointing breeze into an ice-cold flow. And trust me, one of these tips involves a button you probably use all the time, but in a way that's actually making your car hotter. Let's dive in and make your car cold again. 1. The recirculation myth, your most powerful button. Let's talk about the single most misunderstood button on your entire dashboard, the air recirculation button. You know the one. It has a little icon of a car with a U-turn arrow inside it. Most people think it's just for blocking out bad smells from the car in front of you. That's true, but its real power is in making your car dramatically colder, faster. When you turn on your air conditioning, it starts by fighting a losing battle, trying to cool down the hot, humid air from outside. But when you press that recirculation button, you tell the system to stop pulling in hot air. Instead, it starts reusing the air it has already started to cool inside the cabin. Think about it. Why would you want your air conditioner to constantly fight 90-degree air when it could be working with 70-degree air that's already inside? By using the air that's already been chilled, the system doesn't have to work nearly as hard. The air gets colder with each pass, the humidity inside the car drops, and the strain on your AC compressor is significantly reduced. On a long drive or sitting in traffic on a scorching day, this isn't just a small trick, it's a complete game changer. Your vents will blow noticeably colder, and your engine will thank you for the lighter workload. Just remember, for this to be truly effective, your system needs to have enough refrigerant to begin with. If the gas is low, no button is going to magically create cold. 2. The 30-second trick before you even touch the dial. Before you even think about pressing that AC button, I want you to do something that costs nothing and takes less than a minute but makes a world of difference. When your car has been sitting under the sun, the air trapped inside can reach insane temperatures, sometimes hitting 60 degrees Celsius or even higher. It's a literal convection oven. If you jump in and immediately blast the air conditioning on full, you're asking that system to perform a miracle. It's trying to cool down a furnace, which puts immense strain on the compressor and takes forever. Here's the pro move. Before you start the engine, or right as you do, open all of your windows, all of them. Now just drive for about 30 seconds. That's it. This simple action creates a powerful cross breeze that forces that superheated, stagnant air out of the car and replaces it with the cooler, ambient air from outside. You are literally giving your air conditioner a massive head start. Once that initial wave of heat is gone, roll up the windows, hit the AC button, and then press that recirculation button we just talked about. The system now has to cool down normal air, not oven-hot air. The result is that you'll feel properly cold air coming from your vents in half the time, and your AC system won't have to struggle nearly as hard to get there. It's the simplest, most effective prep step you can take. Hold on a sec, your support matters. Like, comment, and subscribe. Want to go further? Hit that join button or drop a super thanks. Back to the video. 3. Let your car breathe, filters, and fins. If your AC is working but the airflow from the vents feels weak, like an asthmatic mouse is trying to blow through a straw, the problem is almost certainly a breathing issue. Your car's AC system has two sets of lungs, one inside and one outside, and both can get clogged. The first is your cabin air filter. Think of it as the surgical mask for your car's interior. It's usually tucked away behind your glove box, and its job is to trap dust, pollen, leaves, and all the other gunk from the outside world. Over time, it gets completely choked with filth. A clogged filter suffocates your AC system, drastically reducing the amount of air that can even get to you, no matter how cold it is. If you're getting a musty, old sock smell from your vents, that's a dead giveaway. Swapping it out is a 10-minute job on most cars that you can easily do yourself. It's recommended you change it every 15 to 20,000 kilometers. The second lung is outside, at the very front of your car. It's called the condenser, and it looks like a thin radiator, usually sitting right in front of the engine's main radiator. Its job is to release the heat that the AC system has pulled from your cabin. But because of its location, it gets blasted with bugs, road grime, and leaves. When it's caked in dirt, it can't release heat effectively. If the condenser can't get rid of the heat, that heat stays in the system, and the air coming out of your vents gets warmer. The fix is simple. Gently rinse it with a garden hose. Never, and I mean never, use a high-pressure washer, as you'll bend the fragile metal fins and create a much bigger problem. A clean filter and a clean condenser allow your system to breathe freely, maximizing both airflow and cooling power. 4. The fan speed paradox: why faster isn't always cooler. This next one is going to sound completely backwards, but I want you to trust me. When you get into a hot car, your first instinct is to crank the fan speed all the way to maximum. It feels like you're doing the most to cool the car down, but you're actually shooting yourself in the foot. Inside your dashboard is a component called the evaporator core, which is like a mini ice-cold radiator. The air from the fan blows across this core to get chilled. When you have the fan on full blast, the air is moving so fast that it doesn't have enough contact time with the evaporator to get properly cold. It's like trying to grab a drink of water from a fire hose. Sure, there's a lot of it, but it's not very effective. Here's the trick. Set the fan speed to a medium setting instead. By slowing the air down, you give it more time to pass over those freezing cold coils, allowing it to absorb much more of the cold. The air that comes out of your vents will be significantly colder, often by several degrees. You'll get a lower volume of air, but the air you do get will be far more potent. Once the cabin has reached a comfortable temperature, then you can bump the fan speed up a bit to circulate that nice chilled air. It's a small adjustment that delivers a surprisingly noticeable improvement in the actual temperature of the air hitting your face. 5. The engine off mistake that's killing your battery and your cool. This is a public service announcement for your car's battery and AC system. Please, stop trying to run the air conditioning when the engine is off. I see people do this all the time while waiting for someone, thinking they're pre-cooling the car or just getting some airflow. It doesn't work. The heart of your air conditioning system is the compressor, and the compressor is driven by a belt connected to your engine. If the engine is not running, the compressor is not running. Period. When you turn the AC dial on with the engine off, all you are doing is activating the blower fan. You are not running the air conditioner. You are simply blowing the hot, stagnant air that's already in the car around in circles. The only two things you accomplish are making yourself feel warmer and, more importantly, draining your car's battery for absolutely no reason. A modern car's battery is not designed to run accessories like a high-power fan for extended periods. Do this enough, and you'll find yourself with a car that won't start. The proper sequence is always the same. Start the engine first. Let it settle for a moment. Then, and only then, turn on your air conditioning system. This ensures the compressor engages correctly and that you are actually generating cold air, all while your alternator is properly powering the system and charging your battery. 6. When to call in the pros or become one. Alright, let's say you've done everything. You're using recirculation mode, you've vented the hot air, your filters are clean, and your condenser is spotless, but the air is just nah. At this point, you're likely dealing with a low refrigerant or gas level. Over time, very small amounts of refrigerant can escape from the system, and when the level gets too low, the system loses its ability to cool effectively. You can actually buy do-it-yourself AC recharge kits at an auto parts store. They come with a gauge and a can of refrigerant, allowing you to top up the system yourself. But a word of caution. If your system is completely empty, you have a significant leak, and just adding more refrigerant is like pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it. You're just wasting money and releasing chemicals into the atmosphere. A leak needs to be fixed by a professional. Similarly, if you have a funky, persistent smell you just can't get rid of by cleaning the vents, it might be time for a professional deep clean. They use special foaming agents to clean the evaporator core deep inside the dash, killing the mold and bacteria that cause those smells and restrict airflow. This is not something you can easily do at home. Finally, for the ultimate upgrade, consider getting professional window tint. A quality ceramic tint can block up to 70% of solar heat from ever entering your car, which is a massive advantage for your AC system. By following these steps, you can solve most common cooling issues yourself, but it's also important to know when it's time to hand the keys to a trusted mechanic.